Once in a bustling city, there was a homeless child named Max. Max was only 10 years old and had been living on the streets for as long as he could remember. Despite his unfortunate circumstances, he always tried to remain positive and kind to others. However, not everyone was as kind to him. One day, as Max was walking down the street looking for something to eat, a group of rich kids approached him. They began taunting him, calling him names, and pushing him around. Max tried to ignore them and walk away, but one of the kids kicked him in the leg, causing him to fall to the ground. As Max lay there, helpless and in pain, the rich kids began to bite him all over his body. They thought it was funny and continued to do so until they finally got bored and left him there alone. Max was left with bruises and bite marks all over his body. He couldn't believe that someone could be so cruel to him, especially when he had never done anything wrong to them. Days passed, and Max struggled to recover from his injuries. However, karma had a way of catching up with people who did wrong. One day, as the rich kids were driving in their fancy car, they crashed into a tree. They were all injured and unable to move. As they lay there, helpless and in pain, they realized how wrong they had been to hurt someone like Max. Meanwhile, a kind-hearted woman who had been passing by saw the accident and rushed to help. She found the rich kids lying on the ground, and also saw that they were the same ones who had bitten Max. She quickly called for an ambulance and helped them until it arrived. When the ambulance arrived, the woman noticed that one of the kids had a phone in his pocket. She took it out and called the last number dialed. To her surprise, it was Max's phone number. The woman told Max what had happened, and he couldn't believe it. Max went to the hospital to see the rich kids. When he saw them lying there, he didn't feel angry anymore. He knew that they had been punished enough by karma. He forgave them and wished them a speedy recovery. From that day on, the rich kids changed their ways. They apologized to Max and began to help others in need. They realized that money couldn't buy happiness, and that it was important to treat others with kindness and respect, regardless of their circumstances. As for Max, he finally found a loving family who took him in and gave him a home. He no longer had to worry about where his next meal would come from or whether he would be safe on the streets. He was grateful for everything he had, and he knew that the world was full of both good and bad people, but it was up to each one of us to choose which side we wanted to be on.